Right. Let me share my screen. Oops. Let me know when you can see my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
It's not moving. All right, so what is anatomy and what is physiology? Not showing on the screen. Let me reshare. Let me see. Okay, cool. All right, so anatomy is the structure of body parts, and physiology is the function of these body parts and what they do and how they do it. Everybody with me? So anatomy is the body parts and its structures, and physiology is how they work. You have different types of anatomy. You have microscopic anatomy. I'm hearing a lot of noise. Gross anatomy, etc. Okay.
Outside.
Hmm?
You cannot hear you good now.
I didn't say there was like All right, so surface anatomy is that we can see at the the surface of the body, which is everyday life. Regional anatomy is the complete anatomy of internal, which is the inside of the body, of a specific region of the body. So for example, vessel, muscles, bones, etc. in the arm. And you have systemic anatomy, which is the body is divided into 11 organ systems, right? So let us look at some characteristics of living things. We have movement, responsiveness, growth, reproduction, and respiration. So these are some of the things that living things do. And of course, digestion, wow. Digestion, absorption, circulation, assimilation, and excretion. Based on interest of time, I won't look at these things. No. So we have metabolism, which is the chemical changes that occurs in the body to maintain life. And all of these processes requires what? Energy. And how do we obtain energy? By the food we eat. So it's good to eat good food. Yeah. And this is the organizational level of the body. Particles, atom, molecules, macromolecule, organelle, cell, tissue, organ, the organ system, and the organism itself. So you see how far we're coming from? Right. So particles is a minute fragment or quantity of matter. In the physical science, a particle is a small localized object to which can be ascribed several physical or chemical properties such as volume or mass. I'm not sure if anybody here do physics or chemistry. Okay, awesome. They vary greatly in size from subatomic particles like electron microscopic particles like atoms and molecules, to macroscopic particles like powders and other granular materials. So from one thing to the next. Then we have atoms. Atom, which is the smallest unit into which matter can be divided without the release of electrically charged particles. It also is the smallest unit of matter that has the characteristic properties of a chemical element. As such, the atom is the basic building block of chemistry. And here we have a little thing. I don't remember these things from chemistry. But we know we have the electrons and the neutrons and so forth on the atom. Right.
Which is right.
Okay. Which is right. And this is the molecules.
DNA strand.
I was thinking too. Yeah.
Right. So let us move on. It's a cell, which is the smallest structural unit of an organism that is capable of independent functioning. Consists of cytoplasm, usually one nucleus and various other organelles, all surrounded by a semi-permeable cell membrane. So we see that a cell can function on its own. Tissue, which is a cellular organizational level between cells and a complete organ, and it is ensemble of similar cells and their extracellular matrix from the same origin that together carry out a specific function. So it's like a group of cells. An organ is a collection of tissue with similar functions. And the organ system is a group of organs that work together to perform one or more functions. Each does a particular job in the body and is made up of certain tissues. So like the circulatory system is a group of organs coming together. And what are those? In the circulatory system, what are some of the organs that come together to work? Circulatory system.
Arteries, capillaries.
Right. Awesome. Don't forget the heart. So an organism is any living system such as an animal, plant, or bacterium. All known types of organism are capable of some degree of response to stimuli, reproduction, growth, and development, and homeostasis. We know a bacteria can grow and do all of these things, right? Just like an animal.
What's homeostasis? Staying still and not growing.
I think it's the same metabolic process, right? Development, if my memory serves me correct. So we have the anatomical position, standing straight, face forward, arms at side, palms facing forward. So we have superior or inferior. These are the different anatomical positions. Medial or lateral, proximal, distal, dorsal, ventral, anterior, posterior, transverse, frontal, superficial, and deep. So these are the different positions, anatomical positions. So superior means the part is above another or closer to the head. So if I say the hypothalamus is superior to the thalamus, what does it mean? It is above the thalamus, right? The anterior means towards the front, which is the eyes are anterior to the brain, etc. So if I say, just like how you have the anterior, what do you call it? The gland there, the little gland that is the master gland, what's that gland called? Pituitary gland, right? And you have the posterior. So it's front and back. Posterior means towards the back. So for example, the pharynx is posterior to the oral cavity, and that's the throat, right? Medial relates to the imaginary midline dividing the body into equal right and left halves. So example, the nose is medial to the eyes. The body with me?
Yeah.
So distal, it means that a particular body part is farther from the trunk or farther from another specified point of reference than another part. For example, fingers are distal to the wrist.
Okay.
Right? And we know where our fingers are, right? Yes.
I get the one before this one.
Medial.
Yeah.
Arms dividing into two half, like the brain.
Okay, that, oh,
Right.
left side, right side.
The lip on the right side of the brain.
And we have superficial, which means situated near the surface. Peripheral also means outward or near the surface. And what is the surface of our body? The skin.
Oh.
Right. So we have like the cells, the fat that is near the skin.
Okay.
Or subcutaneous fat. Deep is used to describe parts that are more internal. And we know that's more like the heart and those things right there. Right.
Distant.
Hmm?
Distant.
Yes. So you have general organization of the body. You have the axial portion, which is the head, neck, and trunk, and the appendicular portion, which is the arms and legs.
And viscera, the internal organ.
Right. Everybody following me? So we have different body cavities. We had looked at some before, well, in previous studies. We have the dorsal, which is the back side, the back. We have the ventral, which is the front side, the front, right? Thoracic cavity, which is the chest, which includes the heart, trachea, and lungs, right? And you have the abdomen, which is the stomach area, which includes the spleen and the intestines, right? So you have pelvic, which is the lower abdomen, which includes the bladder and the reproductive system organs. And the diaphragm is separates the thoracic and the pelvic region. So where is the thoracic cavity? Chest, right? So the body cavity is a hollow space within the human body that contains internal organs. Dorsal cavity located toward the back of the body is divided into the cranial cavity, which holds the brain, the vertebral or spinal cavity, which holds the spinal cord. Right. The ventral cavity located toward the front of the body is divided into abdominal pelvic cavity and the thoracic cavity by the divided into abdominal pelvic cavity and thoracic cavity by the diaphragm. So remember that the diaphragm was between the abdomen and the thoracic cavity. The thoracic cavity is subdivided into the pleural cavity, which holds the lungs, and the pericardial cavity, which holds the what? Heart. When you hear cardial, you think of the heart, right? The abdominal pelvic cavity is subdivided into abdominal cavity, which holds the liver, the gallbladder, stomach, pancreas, spleen, kidney, small and large intestines, and the pelvic cavities, which holds the urinary bladder and the reproductive organs. And who know the reproductive organs? What's their name? Can you tell me the reproductive organs?
Gabby, can you tell us the reproductive organ? Can you point to one of them?
Gee, who else? What are the reproductive organs?
Everybody know what.
Okay, everybody knows and nobody knows. Okay, then.
Yeah.
So it says lateral means towards the side with respect to the imaginary midline. The ears are lateral to the eyes. So the ears are lateral to the eyes. So it's their imaginary midline. Proximal is used to describe a part that is closer to the trunk of the body or closer to another specified point of reference than another part. For example, the elbow is proximal to the wrist. Everybody with me?
Here.
Much time do I have? Right. So the different body regions. So each area of the body has a name. No, too far. Right. All right, so it says body regions, each area of the body has a name. Like most Jamaicans just call all of yours our foot. Right. But each body have a name, which is used to label structures nearby. Example, the brachial region, which is the upper arm. I just will hand this. All right. We have because it says it is used to label the near structures, like the brachial artery is found in the center of the arm. So it is used, we can say the hand artery. Okay. So it is used to label the nearby structures. So we have different organ systems, which is the integumentary system, the skeletal system, the muscular system, the nervous system, the endocrine system, the digestive system, the circulatory system, the lymphatic system, urinary, reproductive, and respiratory system. So these are 11 organ systems. So what is the integumentary system? Is a protection from the environment, which helps the body control temperature, energy storage. This is also called the dermatology, or the skin. Right. Skeletal system, we know it supports protection of soft tissues, mineral storage, and blood cell formation. So all of this is included in the skeletal system, which is the bones and so forth, which is the basic form of the body. The muscular system, which deals with locomotion, support posture, heat production, and this is the skeletal muscles. And we know the nervous system is directing immediate response to stimuli by coordinating the actions of other organs, right? Impulses. And the endocrine system is directing long-term changes in the activities of other organ systems by release of hormones. So the endocrine system deals with the hormones, right? And the pituitary gland plays a very good part in this because the gland secretes hormones. Cardiovascular, internal transport of cells and dissolved materials include nutrients, waste, and gases. And we know that include the heart and the different blood vessels. Lymphatic system is the defense against infection and disease. Who can give me a organ that plays a part in the lymphatic system? Lymph nodes. No. Kidney is an organ. Oh, no.
Defense against infection.
Right.
So that's if you have an infection, it's very good.
Yes. Because you notice they are mostly at where the entrance are, where you can easily get an infection. They are situated there. The defense, a lot of organs. The skin is the first point, right? Respiratory, which deliver air to where gas exchange can occur between the air and circulating blood. So we know the mouth and so forth. The nose, all of these plays a role in the respiratory system. So what about the digestive system? Go ahead. Look over.
What are some of the organs or components that make up the endocrine?
Well, it's the brain. It's mostly in the brain and the glands, because the glands are the ones that secrete hormones. But we have glands in our brain as well.
So when it's like chicken,
Them say have hormone.
it swells or affects those glands.
Well, it's going to cause some effect, right? And show it out of balance.
So when you say that organ are the most important?
Which one? All your organs, you can't live without one. But it's going pressure in for the other ones will fill in.
The brain, different organ.
Hence the nervous system. Spleen. Well, many persons say you can live without the spleen because other organs come in, because it stores blood. So when it ruptures, you bleed out. So it can be removed. A big mush up. All right, so unfortunately I have 2 minutes, so I'm gonna wrap up because I'm finished. So we have the digestive system, which processes food and absorption of organic nutrients, minerals, vitamins, and water, right? The urinary system, which eliminates excess water, salt, and waste products, and it controls pH of body fluids, right? Anybody know what pH means? Potential for hydrogen. Hydrogen, yeah. And that's water. All right, and the reproductive system, we are the 2 ones that I asked earlier. The production of sex cells and hormones, right?
What are sex cells?
How did
What are sex cells?
I was Hey. Not going to see. All right. So this is the plane of the body, how the different, how you call it? So you have the coronal plane, which divides the body into anterior and posterior portions, which is back and front. And sagittal, which divides into left and right portions. And you have transverse plane, which divides the body into superior and inferior portions, and the coronal, which is the frontal plane, the front part. So when you go to the doctor, they normally do this. They know what to do with this, with your body, and how they examine you. All right, so this is the end of my presentation. I trust that everybody had learned something.
Pop quiz.
Go ahead. Pop quiz. All right, any question or comment from our Zoom audience? No. All right, then thank you so much, Sister Lou and company, for allowing me to share, and have yourselves a blessed Sabbath.